welcome back to the Colette Collective. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, mosquito. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below and let's get into it. Now, in my last video, I talked about visiting Europe without a US visa, and today I'm going to share a bit of my experience in each of these countries in Europe: Spain, France, Italy, as someone who was leaving our country for the very first time. So let's go. Now, if you're just tuning in my last video I discussed going to Spain without a US visa, but in order to do that, we found a very affordable flight from Jamaica to Panama and Panama to Paris. And so we thought, okay, well, you know, Schengen area, it's easy to move from Paris to Barcelona via bus or plane, and we thought that a bus would be cheaper. Now, as a yardie going from Jamaica to Europe during December, I'm not sure if I was prepared. Yes, you're aware that they have winter there and it's gonna be cold. As soon as I stepped off the plane, I said, what the fuck? Shit, it really is cold. Now let me tell you, if you're in the cold and you don't properly protect your body, you don't cover your neck, you don't protect your fingers, you don't protect your toes, it feels like every inch of your body, especially the tip of your nose, is about to freeze and fall off. So we arrived in France and we immediately tried to get transportation. This is the hard part. We don't speak French, period, and I think the only French that we practiced was parlez-vous anglais. Do you speak English? So the entire time in France, that's all we said to every single stranger. So we were in France and we want to get a taxi. We have a friend who lives in France, and so he was not able to pick us up from the airport, so he tried to get one of his friends. Now, we got an international SIM because you're gonna need to communicate, you're gonna need to be on Wi-Fi, you're in foreign countries. It only makes sense, but the international SIM was not set up as yet. So when our friend sent his cab driver, we couldn't understand the driver, nor were we able to properly connect to the internet. We're waiting, it's the same issue, the language barrier. He doesn't know where we're at, we don't know where he's at. The Wi-Fi connectivity is in and out because we're on the airport Wi-Fi, and the international SIM hasn't yet been set up. Anyways, he finds us and he helps us pack the suitcases and our luggage in the car. And you know, the ride was good and everything. Now remember, we're trying to get to Barcelona. We're only in France because we found a very affordable flight, $900 for myself and my husband. Did I mention that it's our honeymoon? So yeah, that piece of information. It's our honeymoon and we are trying to save money. So it would have been easy to get a cab right outside of the airport. However, they're kind of pricey. So we thought, you know, let's use Uber. Uber seems to be affordable. So the driver comes, he loads our luggage onto the car. We leave the airport, we're glad he turns on the heat, you know, we say, yes, Father God. So we are in thick traffic in Paris. If you don't know, during this time in December, it was about December 10 or about that time, Paris was on strike, transportation strike, something very political. And so because people can't get transportation easily, I think that affected the traffic and the movement, and everything was just slow and cold and a little bit weird, you know. But it's my first time ever seeing anywhere outside of Jamaica. I was excited, so it didn't even bother me. I was enjoying this cab ride in this thick, nasty traffic. So we spent about maybe almost 3 hours in the vehicle going to the bus station because we had booked a bus to take us to Barcelona from Paris. We thought that was much cheaper. Later on we found out it wasn't. So in the future, please book a flight. It will save you half your life. Alright, 14 hours to be exact. So the cab is almost approaching the bus station, and so I turned to my husband Derek and I say, hey, what time was the bus? So he looks at it and then we see that the bus is X time, 5 o'clock, and it's almost 5 o'clock. and he looks a little bit more closely, and he said, but wait, this date is different. It says that this bus is not leaving the 10, it's leaving the 11. So I'm gonna say, what? Where are we gonna stay? We don't have anything arranged. We don't know anyone in France. We don't speak the language. What are we going to do? Because we booked the wrong bus. So the cab driver says, well, you know what? Maybe you could run inside and check to see if there's a bus there. And we checked online first, and we saw that there was a bus that's leaving today. So, we hurry up and we grab our bags, we grab our suitcases, and we grab them behind us, and we're running down this little, we're running down this little platform in the bus station, and it's me and the suitcase, I'm running, trying to reach. It was about maybe minutes to 5. So the bus that was supposed to depart that day was almost gone. And so Derek took the suitcases, and I'm running ahead of him trying to catch somebody to talk to. So we ran across where they purchased the tickets, and the person said, yeah, there's the bus. But it was a black man, and he spoke a little bit of English. He spoke French mainly, of course, he's French. And he thought that I was saying that I'm missing my bus, but I was trying to ask him, how can we get a ticket to go on the bus? So he took me, and he brought me and escorted me to the bus. He ran with me, and it's me running, it's him running, and we're going towards the bus driver. So I think he spoke to the driver to let him know that I'm supposed to be on this bus. And the driver asked, I showed the driver our little ticket on our phone, and I tried to explain as best as possible to him that we have booked the bus, but we booked it for the wrong day, which is tomorrow, not today. We don't know we don't have anywhere to stay. We are tourists, we're on our honeymoon, and we don't know anyone in France. If he could grant us pardon. And I'm telling you, it was almost as if that bus driver was an angel, because he went inside, he looked inside the bus, and he came back outside, helped us load our luggage into the side of the bus. And at this point, me and Derek were, thank God, I must praise him. It's freezing. We don't know where we're going to go, what we're going to do, so we can only pray. And the driver was so kind-hearted to load our luggage onto the bus, and we settled in, and we were trying to relax a little bit because we're tired and we're panting. Derek gave the run of his life, and we're trying to relax, and that was just crazy. Now, the journey to Barcelona from France, it was long. It was especially long because the bus had to make several different stops. And I remember along the journey, we had to stop in, I think it's Lyon. Forgive me if it's mispronounced, but I think we had to stop in Lyon, and the bus driver called me one side. Everybody went inside a cafe to eat food. The bus driver called me one side, and he was doing his best with the English, which I appreciate because we speak no French. Yes, you know the we, and what else do I know? I know we. Exactly. So now when you're in a foreign country, all the little small words that go out the window. I'm telling you, when you're trying to have a conversation, especially one that has to do with your safety and getting to your destination, you don't know what to say. You don't know, like Google Translate cannot work fast enough. So the driver explained to me, and he said, we're going to make another stop, and there are some people who are going to come on, and the seats that you're sitting in, I believe they booked it. This is me picking apart what he was trying to say. His English was broken, but he was trying nonetheless, and I'm grateful, right? So he says that they've booked the seat, and some people who are supposed to be on this ride did not show up, so you can sit in these seats. And it could only be God, because we are in this foreign country, and this driver also, predominantly white. The driver was white, and you're like, man, please make him love black people, please make him love black people. So we were so touched, and that was one of our most memorable moments and experiences in France, the kindness alone of that bus driver. Now, the bus ride was long, it was exhausting, everybody using the toilet on it. You try to pass the time as much as possible. You have babies crying, you have people coughing, the whole shebang. And eventually we arrived in Barcelona, and my my period comes. I can't even begin to tell you how disappointed I was. Here I am in the place of my dreams. I'm telling you, since I was maybe 11, I told everybody the first time I travel, I'm going to Spain, Barcelona to be exact, because I was studying Spanish in grade 7 and I was just enamored with the Spanish culture and the language. You know what I mean? It was just so sexy and impressive to me. So I'm in Spain on my honeymoon, the man that I love, and my period comes, so I'm very disappointed. And I'm grumpy. Now when we get off the bus, lost the excitement a little bit, and it was, I would say it was relatively easy, because as soon as we left the bus station, we saw some taxis in front of us, and it was quite affordable. I think it was maybe, was it 10 euros? And you know, the taxi brought us to our Airbnb, which was very lovely. It was as presented on the website, which is very important. Maria, the host, was warm. Maria was probably the best part. Maria and Lika, who was our other host in Barcelona, so we stayed 2 different places. They were probably the best part of Barcelona, because they shared so much information about where to go, how to familiarize yourself with the city.
Hola, mamasis.
Hola.
Vamos a la playa.
What he said.
Bienvenido a Barcelona.
Valió la pena.
Todo el mundo ahora a la comida. ¿Sí? ¿Sí?
And at this point I need to get some painkillers, because you know, the cramps, so you don't want it to hinder your whole experience in this foreign country. So we left the Airbnb. Of course we settled, we took a shower, because this 14-hour bus ride have us feeling icky, and you spend 14 hours in a closed bus with so many strangers. You do need to take a shower. This was pre-COVID, you know what I mean? So we left the Airbnb and we went outside to find a pharmacy. We acquainted ourselves with the area, with supermarkets, and it was so easy, because in Barcelona the blocks are so similar and even. They're well designed and constructed, and even though that's a great thing, it can also be, I don't want to say negative, but you can get lost. You know, all the blocks look the same and they have a similar color. All the pharmacy have a little similar green plus sign, so you're thinking, oh, we're almost home. It's very easy to lose track and to lose your way, get lost. Now when you're in Barcelona, it is remarkably diverse. You have Chinese, you have Middle Eastern people, you have a lot of Africans. A lot of Africans are in Spain, you know. Hashtag the Moors. You have so many different ethnicities. You do not feel out of place. The only way you feel out of place is, of course, because you don't necessarily speak the language, no Spanish nor Catalan, as fluently as everyone else. You might have to take a minute to remember the couple words you learned in school, or to use Google Translate. And like I was saying earlier, it's not very cool when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, because you want the communication to be swift and smooth, so that the people that you're asking can go about their business, right? But it absolutely was not like that. However, do not worry if you don't know the language, because I would go out on a limb and say 3/4 of the people in Barcelona speaks English. They speak about maybe 3 languages, possibly more. Speak Spanish, some speak French, of course Catalan, which is native to Barcelona. So yeah, don't worry about the language thing at all. And if it is that the person you stop at first doesn't know English, most likely the person next to them knows some English and know it well. Once again, because it's so diverse, you have people coming from many different countries to settle there, and you have other tourists, so you are bound to find someone who knows your language. Another one of my absolute favorite parts of Barcelona was the food. Oh my god. When I came back home, I told everybody, as a matter of fact, before I came back home, I had to do a video about how affordable the supermarkets were.
It's like one something euro cereal. Oh, that sells for like all $700 Jamaica. It's crazy. Look at the wine prices. And a glass of wine? A glass of wine just now was what? Three euros? Not dollars, sir.
€3. Same
$3
thing.
is something else.
That's how I become a buckle.
Not the same. I don't want red though.
I was impressed because you are expecting, okay, it's Europe, it's Barcelona, how we gonna eat? We just had a wedding, we are honeymooning in Europe. We do want to pinch our money a little bit and make it stretch as long as possible. So we're excited to be cooking for ourselves, but what's the food prices like? And I was impressed. To this day, the prices for food alone in Spain would encourage me without a doubt to move there in a heartbeat. For example, the wine, the bread, the fruits, the grape. And at some point, you know, I kind of got disappointed in my country, but I had to keep reminding myself, Colette, Jamaica is third world for a reason, and cost of living, I would say, is considerably low in Jamaica. Food prices, not so much. However, in these other developed countries, who also got a head start, don't get me wrong, but they're a little bit more developed. So where you have food prices affordable, the cost of living maybe not so much. Either way though, I was happy that we could easily eat on 10 euros, which is maybe about the equivalent in Jamaica, maybe $1,500, and you can get a tub of ice cream for $1,500 in Jamaica, and that's it. So forget making dinner. So finding out that wine and Ferrero Rocher, which I lived on while in Spain, was super affordable. I was having the time of my life. The supermarkets are close, they're easy to find, you have so many places to convert your money. Now, I wish I had more experience with food that is native to Barcelona, or Spain rather. For example, paella. We tried tapas, which were delicious. We tried vermouth. You know, we got very good advice that sangria is not necessarily, you know, so try the vermouth. That is excellent. It's a must-have when you come here. And it was lovely. Now, even though I mentioned that the supermarkets are quite affordable, the restaurants maybe not so much. You have so many tourists there. They are trying to make a living, and it's gonna be priced a little higher in the restaurant. You know what I mean? Because it's a business. So Yelp was super helpful in getting us to find the prices. I'll tell you something. One time we went into a restaurant and then we opened the menu and we looked at the places, and I said to Derek, "You want to come out?" We immediately knew that we couldn't afford this place, and we just take our time and excuse ourselves from the restaurant. So Yelp is super great in helping you find the best places to eat. You can see the prices, you can see the menu, and before you even step foot in the place, you already know what you're gonna get, what you can afford. So utilize that app, it's super helpful. Alright, so transportation in Barcelona. Transportation, along with how affordable their food is, has to be my ultimate favorite in Barcelona. The metro system. Just the metro system, the efficiency, the speed, the reliability of the metro. You can get about 10 trips for 10 euros, which is great to us because, like I said, we are pinching as much as we can. And the metro, you go underground, which was also new for me. I know some of you have taken the metro for all your life. For me, I'm used to taxis and bus. In Jamaica, nothing is wrong with that, but it was just so exciting going underground and just standing, waiting, and when it opens, you jump on. Never taken a train or anything like that before, and I felt like, just a kid. I was just so happy. Now, the metro you can take practically anywhere, and when one metro takes you from point A to B, you can take another one once you're underground without paying anything else from point B to C. And that made a world of difference because it helps you to go around the city and see all the places that you've always wanted to see in Barcelona without spending additional money. You can just use all that transportation money for food or for souvenir. So that makes a world of difference. If you're in Barcelona, the metro is I would say the best transportation to take advantage of. I'll tell anybody in a heartbeat, if it were not for my husband Derek, I don't know what we would have done where direction is concerned. My sense of direction is super off. My short-term memory not so good. So you want to be utilizing your Google Maps, and obviously it's going to be a best friend because you don't know this place. You have to use a map. You have to ask directions. When it came to finding things to do, there's so much to do, so much to see in Barcelona. It's like architecture paradise there, food paradise, wine paradise. It's everything. It's Barcelona. It's sexy. Much to do. So my husband found online Runner Bean tours that allowed you to take free tours through the city, and well, not so much free because at the end of the tour they say, hey, we do this for free, however you can pay us whatever you think the tour was worth. And people generally do pay, and they pay them well. But Lisa was just wonderful from Runner Bean Tours. Lisa, big up yourself. She did an exemplary job educating us and taking us around the city.
For example of a building that they moved. Can you imagine? And when they moved this, they knew that they were inside right now the Roman city, so they were very, very careful. They brought in archaeologists and they uncovered a huge section of the Roman city. So it's now a history museum, but only to do with Roman history. And if you go in, you can see what they uncovered. The old Roman streets where they used to wash their clothes and make their wine. It's quite amazing. Then the table and chairs there.
We learned so much about Gaudi, who was very instrumental, basically the father of modern Catalan architecture. And when you also go on the tour of the old city, you can see why it is that Gaudi is held in such high regard. It's so different. The architecture style and his eye, his way of seeing, it's completely different, and we are grateful for Lisa for taking the time. I can't imagine it being easy for any tour guide. Talking is an art. Keep remaining excited is an art, and Lisa, she did it so well. I don't remember the other gentleman's name, but they're completely exemplary and they deserve every good thing that comes their way. One of our favorite places to walk through was La Ramblas, which is a central street in Barcelona, and it's like a marketplace, excellent for souvenirs, and you get some very affordable souvenirs as well. You are encouraged to walk with safety, but that advice, I would say, should be extended to anyone going anywhere, period. You have good and bad people anywhere. So of course we took the same or similar precautions as we would in Jamaica. You don't know who's who. You really can't trust anyone. You have good people and bad people everywhere, even in a magical place like Barcelona. Arc de Triomphe was also one of our favorite places to visit. When you go there, you can tell that it's a place for people to take their families. Arc de Triomphe was built as a main access gate for the 1888 Barcelona World Fair, and you'll find people there displaying their skills, so many people, and it's just so lively. When we went there, it was a little bit more sunny, and of course we're grateful. It was completely heartbreaking leaving Barcelona. I'm telling you, I fell in love with that place. I've always dreamt that it would be wonderful when I set foot in this country. My hope is that we will be able to visit during the summer or when it's less cold. That way you feel more motivated to want to get up and leave and walk around, because you don't have to worry so much about freezing to death. So we left our Airbnb, suitcases pulling behind us, which might I add would have been weird if we were in Kingston City. You'd be getting a whole lot of stairs. But in Barcelona you have people who are also utilizing Airbnbs and are staying at different places, so many tourists. So you would imagine that there are other people walking with their suitcases behind them. So that was not weird at all. You really blended in and no one was staring at you. So because we learned our lesson, we are no longer traveling by buses. We have learned that the airfare is actually cheaper than the bus fare. So when we left Barcelona, we were en route to Italy, Venice to be exact, and we took a flight that took maybe an hour and a half from Barcelona to Italy. And